Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Spitball Media Podcast. We're doing a weekly look at the top entertainment stories, and we're just going to spit out some of the big ones. And thank you for checking us out. My name is John Draper. Joining me is the Prince of Philadelphia, Mr. Shaheen. Shah, happy weekly Spitball Media.
Thank you, sir. I'm out here spitting out some Arizona iced tea. Still 99 cents, by the way. The only thing that's still 99 cents.
And what is that, like a 32 ounce? What is that? That's huge.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Damn. I haven't had one of those
Crazy.
in a while. Yeah.
I haven't either.
And of course, he's guys celebrating a big burly haircut. He's the king of Midwest. He's celebrating the Ohio marijuana victory, Mr. Bish O'Brien.
Not celebrating too hard yet, but I'm almost there.
Internally, you're celebrating. Internally. You've internally celebrated. You've pontificated over it.
If I wasn't too heavy, I'd have done a backflip. And speaking of heavy, with this haircut, the high and tight, when I wear a blue shirt, I feel like the big boss man. So I don't know if it's a good idea.
You look like a college football coach on the sideline with the orange shirt and like the windbreaker thing and the fully clipped beard and the high and tight.
I just need a whistle and like a
clipboard.
I'm not going to go there.
We just need you the hat, the whistle, and the clipboard.
Dude, I was going to go dark, but we're going to start it off on a good note.
You've never been the big boss man before for Halloween?
No, you should.
Dude, that's perfect for you. What the fuck? Yo, you got to do that, man.
My God.
That would be
Before
perfect.
I lose any more hair, I'm starting to get thin up here. So
no, you can pull
dude,
it
next
off,
year I'm holding you to it, man. You're the big boss. You got to do it, dude.
Oh,
the glasses,
the beard off,
the
and just have the goatee.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
yeah, get rid of the goatee and fucking, yeah, dude.
I love that idea. The next time Saturday night, the next time Halloween's a Saturday night or a weekend, I'm just going to do full Larry David. I'm going to like grow the hair out a little bit and then, switch to like a different glasses. And then when trick-or-treaters come on, I'm going to like, basically, but it's not really a good costume. Not so much. But if you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much for checking us out. But please consider going to patreon.com/Spitball Media. That's where you get hundreds of hours of exclusive content going back to the Break the Apocalypse days. Shah, those wild, wicked days when the world was topsy-turvy. They got hundreds of hours of entertainment they can go to there.
Yeah, they got thousands of hours, I believe, by now.
It might be.
Literally.
It might be. Bisho, could it be over 1,000 hours?
It's definitely over 1,000. I think we're probably over 2,000 by now.
Yeah, what do we have? Three years. We have like an hour to 2 plus Patreon. Yeah. My dog's
bonus shows. Yeah.
Wow. When my family has the commencement hearing to put me away, this will totally come into effect. But go to patreon.com/breakdown. It's just $5. Shah, that's like 5 Arizona iced teas.
That is, which sounds like a good deal, honestly, because I mean, if you get any other iced tea, it's fucking $5 a gallon. So,
Shah, did you ever get the jugs of Arizona iced tea? Or they sell them in the half-gallon jugs?
Yeah, I think they still do. I honestly haven't had Arizona since the last time I showed it off on the show. Which was
how many flavors are there of Arizona? Is it just like peach?
Oh, there's a lot now. It's not like back in the day where it was just
peach.
green tea and
peach.
it's a bunch of different ones though. Yeah, this one's peach. I think they have like watermelon, grape.
Really?
Hawaiian punch. They got a bunch of different shit now. So
damn.
But since we're on YouTube, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe.
Yes, very important. Hit the YouTube button, hit that like. This is a very new venture. The algorithms are just killing everybody for even like these huge shows, B-Show. I hear this all the time from people complaining.
Well, and even worse than that, Nerdrotic, that the channel that we talk about sometimes, it covers Marvel and Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah, they cover comics and Star Wars.
A couple of channels like them have said that YouTube has been unsubscribing people who aren't like hitting the notification bell. So it is super important that you hit the notification bell. It's not just a gimmick, guys.
Jesus Christ. God, YouTube is a shit show. My God. But please consider going to patreon.com. $5, exclusive content. We're going to have a couple bonus shows. I think we're going to try to do a little holiday bonus show this time right now. We're going to maybe because the holidays are here. I like when we do little holiday bonus shows. We have the Halloween one. We'll do maybe a Thanksgiving one. B-Show missed a show. Maybe B-Show could bang out. B-Show, maybe you could bang out a little bonus show this month for the fans.
I was going to try to do 2 just to make it up. So sorry about last week.
That sounds like a great idea. So you can get the Burley Hour. You can call it the Burley Power Hour.
The Burley Power Hour.
I like it.
I just wear my boss man, my road cop shades, man.
I swear to God, you have to. Now that Shah said this, I can't stop thinking about you doing twisting spinning the what you call it? What do they call that? The nightstick?
The Billy Club, the nightstick?
Billy Club, right, Shah? Like B-Show just flipping it under his armpit.
Are you going to put the Confederate flag patch on too? Like he used to have?
Please don't.
No.
I don't think
we
can get away with it over there, man.
No.
He probably could.
I'm from Northern Ohio, not Southern Ohio. So let's get that straight.
Well, yeah, but you could just,
Yeah. Yeah, you could. Yeah, well, you know what? Look,
Mesh.
look. If Prince Harry can wear a full Nazi outfit and still, and
He did have a Confederate patch, though, right? I'm not making that up, right?
I don't know that he had a Confederate
I
patch.
think he did, dude. I really think he did.
Yeah, because I think it's like on the Cobb County flag or something.
But
Yeah,
why would okay, but I don't want to do a big tribute to the big boss man here. But why would a prison guard have a Confederate patch on his uniform?
He did, though. I'm telling you, he did. I'm gonna look this up. He definitely did.
Georgia. If you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia, wasn't that the song for Big Boss Man, the OG song?
Learn to read the sign, respect for law and order. There's a Confederate
oh my God,
flag.
he really. So that means when they made the doll,
Yeah, he did, dude. Yes.
When they made the doll, they made the doll with it.
Yeah.
No.
I think
I have the old.
Yeah, I had the doll. Maybe
I had the Hasbro. It just has like black hash marks. It doesn't have the flag on it. So
I'm talking about the rubber ones. Did you guys? You guys are way too young for the rubber
Oh.
11-inch ones.
Maybe.
I'm almost positive.
Those are the
Anyway, let's say hello to everybody hanging out in the chat there. We got Terrell T, my friend. We got, of course, Joe Punches, Chris Matthews. Chris Matthews, we're going to be throwing up that Afro Man in the Patreon later, FYI.
Yeah, thanks
Slave
for that,
Cheeks
by the way.
is there. Who else? Am I forgetting anybody? I don't even know. But yeah, we'll do a Thanksgiving episode for you guys, of course. And thanks for hanging us out, and thanks to everybody in the Patreon for keeping the lights on in this place. So please consider going to Spitball, patreon.com / Spitball Media. Interesting week in entertainment. Not a lot going on, but there is a huge story that developed yesterday that's been in the works for 120 days as far as entertainment media goes. And we would be completely remiss if we did not discuss this, because we've been talking about it for the summer. Basically, it is official that the SAG-AFTRA strike is going to end. They have a tentative deal in place. So it looks like officially it is going to be over. I think, Bisho, it's like 119 days or something like that.
Yeah, I was surprised because I remember it seemed like it was going on for a long time, but it was not quite half a year, like 4 months, something like that. It was crazy.
Well, because I think the writers predated it a month and a half or 2 months. But it ended a month or so ago. So that was the writer's strike, the WGA strike. Yeah, it looks like they have a deal ready to return to work. And the deal looks pretty good. Basically, over the course of 3 years, Shah, they're going to get a fucking $1 billion. So you can't beat that with a bat.
Good for them, man. It's been 128 days, I believe, since they've been sitting on the couch. Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Since they've been sitting on their couches. So, I mean, I think this is going to be like a snowball effect, too, because I think a lot of different people are going to start doing this. They're going to go on strike.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can see models doing it. Fucking
voice actors, porn. Cum guzzlers. I think
porn would make sense because they don't make shit, man. Everything's free.
The cum guzzler strike. That could be. Bicho, if Ghetto Gaggers goes on strike, we could have a problem. Bicho doesn't want to comment.
Ghetto Gaggers is fucking from that's like 2003 porn.
I don't know, dude.
Do you think there's local?
Do
you think there's a local chapters of the porn union, like there is like the Brotherhood of Electrical Workers and shit?
The Ron Jeremy chapter.
We're from
is there a union for porn? How could there not be? It's like a gajillion dollar industry. Honestly, is there a porn union? And if there isn't, why not? Can you imagine like who they get to vote for that? It's like vote for Kendra Threehole, as your shop steward.
Yeah, who would be your negotiator when you go to the bargaining table against these sleazy porn producers?
Lexington Steele is union president. Lexington Steele. Shah, wait, Ghetto Gaggers is 2003? That's like Bang Bus.
Yeah, no, dude, that's way before Gang. Come on.
I don't know what.
That shit's gross too, man. That's like some disgusting porn.
I know, it's just funny to say.
We got some suggestions in the chat. Chris Matthews says MILF Hunter.
MILF Hunter. I know MILF Hunter.
Slave Cheek says Captain Stabbin. I like that one.
Captain Stabbin. Who was the guy who went to prison? Who was like really gross? He was like the old white balding guy, and it was just really gross.
Ron Jeremy?
No. People know who he is. He was like, he was like a gonzo porn guy.
Oh shit.
He's in prison. I know he's in
I don't
prison.
know any dude porn stars other than Ron Jeremy, I think.
Really?
Yeah, who else? I don't know.
No, it's not Ron Jeremy. I can't remember, but the guy went to jail. I remember because I saw a whole like
Slave Chief St. Preston Parker. Do you know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Preston Parker. I have no.
I'm scared that you guys know enough male porn stars. Like,
yeah, I just know the one. I've never.
I know the old school. I know like the Ron Jeremys, the fucking John Holmes.
I barely know women porn stars, man. I can't even name 5.
I forget. Who's the one who's friends with what's his face, Shah, the guy you know, the ex-PW guy?
Rob Black?
Tom Byron. 80 star Tom Byron. Yeah, there was a guy, I forget his name. He was like a Southern guy, maybe he was older. He's in like prison for porn. Like he's in, it wasn't for like underage shit. I don't know. I can't remember. It was like a big story. But yeah, the union strike is over. So what does this actually mean? So it looks like they did get some good shit though, B-Show. I know they were going for streaming money, but by the way, guys, the one thing they did not get was they wanted streaming funds from each streaming service, and did not happen. They had to take that off the table, which by the way is where all their future revenue is going to be, Shah, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. But what about the AI thing? Did they get anywhere with that?
You know what? Nacho Vidal. No, he killed the guy. I know that guy. I'll know the name if somebody brings it up. Somebody's got to know this. B-Show, can we possibly bring up what they got out of this strike? The AI thing was the holdover as far as I think they need permission for the AI stuff.
Yeah, I can't find
that's the worst part to me, man. That really saddens me if they get away with the AI stuff.
Now, when we're talking about the AI stuff, we're not talking about we're talking about the audience, the computer generated background players, right? Max Hardcore, that's the guy. Thank you, Slave Cheeks. Yeah, he's in prison. Oh, he's dead? Oh, maybe we can bring him back so he could be in the porn union. We could reanimate him.
AI porn.
That dude was hard. Max Hardcore was hard.
Not anymore. He's hardcore. Dead. He's very soft right now.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't bring up any articles on the internet. I don't know why. My computer's being stupid. So
really? Oh, that's not good.
And I can't find the one that you sent us earlier, the one sheet with all the stuff on it. I did remember seeing, you're right. The one thing that they didn't get was the pieces of the streaming. And they did get some provisions and protections from AI, but there's not a lot specified.
Not a lot specified for the AI.
They got a big increase in their minimums and stuff like that. I know that.
Yeah, what it was, basically like the day players, like, got a big fucking increase. Just like the writers got a fucking they got an insurance increase, which is very, very good. But they wanted, one of the primary things that they were fighting for was a piece of revenue from when their shows and movies go to the streaming services, because all of the streaming services, I mean, that's the predominant way people are seeing their art now. And
streaming, man, I really wonder where it's going to be in 10 years, because a lot of shows just disappear, right? And I wonder where they go, because like Disney, they removed what was that show with the midget?
Was it a
Willow? What
was the show with the midget?
You guys are cracking.
Wait, Bridget the midget? She's a porn actress. I've seen some
I think
of
she
her
stabbed
work.
her boyfriend. She stabbed her boyfriend, bro.
Yeah,
you know
that's
that?
right. She was
with a paring knife.
She in like a mainstream movie.
She did a couple horror movies. Yeah,
she's
not
in
mainstream movies. Low budget shit.
Yeah, they wanted her in a Chucky movie so she could just fuck him standing up. What were you going to say there? Okay, so I just want to pull up. Here's some of the stuff.
I got it right here.
Okay, B. So what do they get?
So SAG-AFTRA says the deal is valued at $1 billion, and this is according to discussing film on Twitter. Streaming participation bonus, above pattern minimum compensation, so their minimums have gone up. Substantial increases for pension and health caps, pay increases for background actors, contract provisions protecting diverse communities, and major provisions for consent and compensation from AI.
Okay, so major consent. Okay, that's a big deal, Shah. Major provisions for consent and compensate. So, Shah, they're going to get paid. They're getting major compensation to be AI'd.
Yeah, I just wish they wouldn't get AI. Period. You know what I mean? That's I don't know, man. It's uncharted territory. I just feel like film is going to look so fake and fucking emotionless in 10 years when everything is fake. The backgrounds are already all fake, man. There's no miniatures. There's nothing. It's all just graphics, and that kills my soul. I hate it. Well, I was just looking at the Evil Dead miniatures and the ones that they use for Star Wars. Like, the amount of time that went in that was actual like fucking heart and soul that somebody put into that film. Nowadays they click a couple buttons and fucking 3D it and that's it, man. You know, I was talking about a couple weeks ago when I was watching that the Aquaman and how they made that movie. Like the whole thing is fucking CGI. Not a single thing in there other than the guy is real. Everything.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have an Atlantis, and last I checked, they
No,
can't.
but even the
breathe
ships. No, the ships, dude. Everything. They could have done some stuff in reality. You know.
Yeah, I've seen Aquaman. It was actually when you see it in the context, it's actually pretty decent. You know, I actually don't hate that movie, but listen, this strike is going to have a major impact on the next year and into 2025. The delayed projects. Now all the studios are announcing the major delays from Disney, Marvel, you know, even, you know, independent studios, some horror properties. Shit is pushed the fuck back. Everything is pushed completely back from this. So it did have a major impact on the studios. I do find it interesting, B-Show, that they got this all wrapped up a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's weird timing. You know, I was going to say something a minute ago, too. You mentioned everything being delayed. I think this is actually a good thing, because Marvel was churning shit out and at, you know, bargain basement quality because they were rushing shit through, not getting
for the
done.
CGI. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like with Star Wars, Marvel, these properties that are a little long in the tooth and need some time, this could be a good delay for them to like kind of re-rack shit and figure some stuff out and how to move forward. Because honestly, the phase 4 of Marvel is non-existent at this point. And I know we'll get to the Captain Marvel, you know, Marvel stuff. We're going to touch on that again. But, you know, it allowed movies like Oppenheimer and Barbie and these other movies to come out unchallenged, really. And now that the well has run a little dry, maybe my hope is that consumer sentiment is changing to where they're kind of sick of the big blockbuster superhero stuff for a while. And it just kind of needs to cool for a bit. Almost like I said about Halloween a couple weeks back. And then maybe with a little bit of a break, some other types of movies coming out that people are enjoying, then come back with stuff like that. And this would be a good opportunity for that.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, Shah. Do you think this, I mean, obviously this is going to help the actors and the writers and the stunt people, and we're grateful for the lower level people getting money, right? You know, and naturally at the end of the day, that's who we're really rooting for, is the people not making $6 million a picture, you know, getting some kind of fucking increase. Do you think this might improve quality, or do you think it's just going to be business as usual? They're just getting paid more money.
No, I don't think it's going to improve, you know, quality if they pay the background actors more and stuff like that. But this is all just to benefit them. I don't think it's going to make us any difference, really. You know,
unless we get better projects out of it.
Yeah, but how could that contribute to better projects, though? Because, like you said, it isn't really towards like the main actors. It's background people. It's health benefits, and you know.
Well, the AI and stuff like that is a big deal, because now when you see extras in movies, if they have to recycle people from, you know, Iron Man 1 in 2006, they're going to have to pay a lot of money for that. It might not be cost efficient for them to do that. They're probably better off hiring regular people to be in the background versus paying people to recycle their likeness, which was what they were doing when they didn't have a contract for it.
That would be nice.
That's what I'm hoping
real
for.
Humans, you know? Back in film. I think that would
be
nice.
I mean, it says B-Show, it says major provisions. I have to presume that that's what that means.
Yeah, I would imagine. And the other thing too is think of these iconic voices or roles. Like I know James Earl Jones signed like a royalty agreement for his family and his estate, so where
after he dies,
Star Wars can continue to synthesize his voice for Darth Vader for almost
How could
ever.
They not? How the fuck could they not? Honestly.
Yeah.
James
I mean, I've heard the guy from the Clone Wars. He's pretty good, but it's not James Earl Jones. So like, hopefully it's fair pay for stuff like that, to where it's not just like, okay, we'll give you one, like the wrestling business. Here's $50 and a beer, and then we'll use your shit forever. It'd be like, okay, we're going to pay a residual to your estate for the next 100 years and we can use it forever. So
yeah. And it's a 3-year deal, guys. So by the time 3 years from now, streaming is going to be infinitely more readily available to people. There'll probably be more streaming services. It'll be infinitely more expensive. And all of these sites all of these services are raising money in the new Hulu. Hulu is also merging with Disney. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Hulu and Disney are now going to be one channel. So preliminarily speaking, they're going to beta test it early in the new year. So if you have one, you have both. What does that mean to the consumer? Don't know, Shah, but I don't think it's going to save us any money in the long run.
No, I think that's just going to be an excuse to bump it up to like $30 a month for the both of them. I always thought they were under the same, mother company though, because like
they are, because they own ESPN. You could do a package for ESPN Plus, which is what UFC runs a portion of their pay-per-views on, and some select sports, Hulu and Disney. I have them as separate. Do you have them as separate too, right, B-Show? Like you don't have them together, do you?
No, I don't have them bundled. I was gonna get them for the UFC pay-per-views a while back, but you still gotta pay like $60 for them. So I said, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck that shit. No. But the strike is over, and now it's back to the movie business. But before we go on to the movie business, we wanted to get something out of the way that we put off last week because B-Show Brian was unavailable. And because it was one of these instances where all three of us saw a movie in the same 24 hours. So we talked a little bit, and I know Necromaniacs did a huge deep dive on it. So hopefully you guys checked it out. And a lot of sites did deep dives on it. The Argentinian horror film When Evil Lurks on Shudder. It's kind of the undisputed most talked about horror film of the year, although not the highest grossing. We'll talk about that. And we all saw it. Shah and I touched on it very little because we wanted to have a deeper conversation about the film with B-Show and get his take on it. So B-Show, without any further ado, share with the audience your feelings on the highly controversial in a sense that it's just a white hot horror property for the year, When Evil Lurks.
Are we talking spoilers or are we keeping it spoiler free?
I think we decided we're going spoilers, Shah, didn't we?
Okay.
Yeah, because we mentioned it last week that you have about a week to watch it again.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, we're gonna definitely
we're gonna go. We're gonna talk about it for a little bit.
It's hard to spoil anything though because it's such a vague movie.
I don't see. There's really. It's not like at the end like you find out. Yeah, it's not
right.
That kind
and
of movie,
everything that we talk about was already shown in the trailer.
Yeah,
for the
it's
most
not that
part,
kind of
so
a movie. But go ahead, B.
So normally, and I heard you guys talk about this last week about people being babies about subtitles. I don't generally love subtitles because I get distracted trying to follow what they're saying. And I really, especially with a movie like this, where John, you said if you watch it a second time, like you see all sorts of stuff you don't catch the first time. I want to go back and see it again because one of those things I noticed when I was trying to figure the movie out is like who was infected, when was it? When he walks into the house to get his kids, he looks at the radiator, the window's open, and they say not to use like electronics and like in the kids. They said he's autistic, but he looks like he's sick. Like the whole movie, it's almost like the Thing where you can go crazy trying to figure out like who's infected and who's getting sick for, So in that sense, I really liked it. It was like a big, try to keep you guessing. The infamous scene that everyone's talking about is out of the fucking nowhere when the girl's standing by the pit bull and he just lunges at her face. Like and we'll probably talk about this in Patreon when we talk about the Terrifier 3 thing. But, I get really uncomfortable when I see like graphic violence against kids in movies. Like I don't like it. There's certain movies that people have suggested I watch and I haven't because I know they're like that. It's like you guys in Animals. It completely turns me off in a lot of cases. However, I felt gross watching it, but the movie was so good and it fed into the story of like that terror of, if there's this zombie medical outbreak type of demon thing going on, like these are the real threats and things that could happen. So to not play it safe and to go for the fucking throat, literally and figuratively, I love this movie. I really did. I want to go back and watch it again, but I was kind of grossed out. I had to watch Talk to Me to chase it down afterward to take the edge off a little bit. So
now B-Show, I don't put the cart before the horse, but you do realize how that infection got in the house, right?
No.
Shah, you know how the infection got in the house, right?
No.
What's the one thing he was supposed to do that he didn't do before he got in the house?
Oh, take his clothes off. See,
and they show a scene where his wife's daughter is staring at the clothes on the floor with the giant Rottweiler pit bull next to her. And he burned the clothes, but he'd already brought the clothes into the home. It was in his clothes. That's why the father brought the clothes. And just to keep some people here in the Chris Matthews says, "My God, it was so good." Joe Punches. I'm going to say that car scene with the family was the one where the son makes the sounds nonstop. I felt so anxious and uncomfortable. Yeah, I wanted it to end. The scene affected me, dudes. Yeah, can we just talk about that scene real quick where the
Well-
autistic son is mumbling in the car, Shah? Like, if you see
Because he
that
wants the
again,
ice cream or whatever.
yeah, with
See-
the apple ice cream. Yeah, remember, Shah?
That's what I like about this movie is that we're naming different scenes that bothered us, and none of them are the same. Joe Punches is mentioned in the car scene.
Oh, the car
B-Show
scene.
mentioned the pit bull. None of those are the ones
You
that
mentioned the
affected
pit
me,
bull, though.
actually.
You were like all over the pit bull scene with the dog.
Yeah, but it didn't bother me as much as the other one. The other one was the axe with the woman.
The axe to the face is the one thing
I
I
wasn't
don't need to see
expecting
it
it,
again.
and the 3 slashes looked so fucking real. I was like,
And then that
whoa,
almost slash, that final slash.
whoa. I was like, what
See,
the
see, that's the weird thing because like that didn't bother me. Like it's
Oh,
gross, it's
Bothered
grody.
me forever.
No, it
gross and-
surprised me. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, yo.
It was so
what?
graphic.
And B-Show, the thing is, with horror movies, they usually pace kills like this. Like,
Yeah.
we just saw the goat get blown away
Yeah.
a second earlier. Then she turned around and bashed. I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's like
That's
3
what-
graphic scenes
Yeah.
in a minute and a half.
Oh, the other one that got me, when he's following the zombied out ex-wife, and he
Oh,
pulls up on behind her in the truck, and he gets
his
out,
brother.
and she's eating
She's eating her son.
eating
She's
the kid's
she's eating her
brains.
son. Yeah.
Oh,
She's
ripped
pulling
my
her son
fucking heart
apart,
out.
cradling
Great
him and
practical
eating him
effects,
and
too. You
walking.
can see, like, it's fucking great, dude.
And you know
Yeah.
what gets me about that? I think it's the emotional part of it. Maybe just being around kids and being a dad is like, it wasn't so much what she was doing because the eating brains when he was dead didn't bother me. It was him like crying on the way out, and you know that they can't save him. Because like I've
Yeah.
heard that cry before when your kid, like when they're not just fucking around and they're really hurt or something.
B-Show, I like that little jump she did too. Like when
Oh,
she
out the
just
window.
jumps off-
Jesus.
Yeah. That jump shot, that jump was
Oh,
it's
with the
very
kid?
subtle, like not a big deal, but it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Like she just blip.
That's
And-
the thing about the movie, man. You don't expect the kills that come out of nowhere. You're just like, what the fuck?
How about that car? How about the car, the premeditated car crash with the little daughter, where she was like, "Papa's gonna come back and he's gonna crash and you're gonna go boom." And they're like,
Yes.
oh, that's amazing.
Well, that's the one that Joe Punches was referencing, I think.
No, he was referencing the autism, the kid moaning in the car where he changes his moans.
Oh, okay. I thought he was talking about the car crash.
Yeah. And another subtle thing is we didn't hear the 7th rule in front of the children because the grandmother didn't want to say the 7th rule. Where that grandmother, who is amazing, that grandmother is like, I could watch that woman. That woman should just be a grandmother in every movie I watch for the rest of my life.
Abuela. Yeah.
Abella, she just reminds me of every great aunt and my grandmother. Like she's so real, and her voice is scraggly. I guarantee you, she's a cigarette smoker, like that. Like with that very. But when she's telling them the rules and she's singing the song, like first it gets in your brain, then it takes first it gets in your body, then it takes your mind. But then she wouldn't tell the children the 7th rule. Do you guys remember the 7th rule? 7th rule is the best rule.
No, I don't remember the rule. What was the rule?
Don't be afraid to die.
That's right.
Don't be afraid to die, because the woman who was married to the cleaner, she's the one who said that. She was great too. By the way, that woman was, and her death, the hammering, B-Show, where they're dragging her away and hammer. Shah, when the kids are hammering her slowly in the head.
Yeah, I think this movie has some of the best kills. Like in a, you know what I mean? Like they have like 10 solid fucking banger kills, like back to back, man. It's
horror movie of the year.
It might have to be, just from as uncomfortable as it made me, as entertaining, as good as the story was. And again, I will challenge the dad thing, because I thought the same thing too. You fucking idiot. You wore your clothes in the house and the dog's smelling them. It travels to the dogs. Excuse me. But the one thing I noticed is when he goes up and the son's laying in bed, the first thing he does, and the camera cuts to it, is he looks at the window and the air conditioning's on. And she said, don't use electronics. You got to, try to not use them. And the dad takes a long pause and looks at the window where the air conditioning is. And she says, the son is sick.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time we just think he's autistic and he's nonverbal,
right?
But there's something off about him. And then later on, she says sometimes the demon doesn't know how to figure out the brain because it doesn't work.
It's trapped in their mind. It doesn't know how to take over their mind.
Right. So I'll 100% co-sign onto the he brought it in, because that's what I thought too.
Oh, you see if you watch the movie again, guys, there's a cut scene to his clothes on the floor before he goes outside and burns them.
Yeah, and the dog's sniffing him. Yeah. But what I'm saying is but also when he walks upstairs, I couldn't figure out if he brought it and the son got infected, or if the son was already infected and then he infected the dog.
I think the son got infected. That's a good question. I haven't thought about how the son got infected to that point. It might have been from the electricity because you're not supposed to even use lights. Shah, how do you think the autistic son got infected? We know how the little kid got infected. Well, he didn't really get infected. He got eaten.
Right.
How do you think the autistic son got infected?
I don't know. I figured it was through the dad.
Yeah.
That's what that was my guess.
All right. Yeah, and then there is that scene in the car with the mother who had the phone, but the mother was never in the town. So that should have been okay, the phone. So maybe he got infected when the grandmother answered her phone in the car.
So can we agree this is like a demonic plague, I guess? It's like a plague?
Yeah, it's like the crazies. It's like a satanic crazies.
Right, because it's not like an actual possession. It's almost like a disease, but it's like demonic / zombie. That was the confusing thing, because I thought when I was watching this movie, I was expecting more of a religious aspect of the movie, like actual demons possessing like children, and there was none of that.
Animals. Really. Yeah, animals. Right. Stay away from animals. How about that? How about that sheep scene? That was pretty great, Bisha, huh?
The goat?
The goat, yeah, the goat.
Oh, at the beginning, when like all the goats clear out of the way and the one's just
shoots the gun and they all run, but the one goat.
Yeah.
See, I thought the goat was the devil. Like when I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, so this is like an actual demonic movie.
Yeah, so what it is if you read on, it's the essence of the evil, because the unholy thing hasn't been born yet. But the essence is traveling. It's traveling through the land because this demon is going to be born, and it travels through your clothes. It travels through electronics, and you can't use modern day weapons to kill it. And you really shouldn't hurt it. And you should probably stay away from animals because it's easy to possess animals. So it's like, it's the essence of evil, Bisho. It's like, and that's what it is. It's an essence. It's sort of like all these people like in The Omen who are helping Damien, right? Because they're there to help the devil.
Exactly. And those freaked out kids at the end.
Oh, those bastards.
Covered in fucking lye or whatever it is.
How about where he does the mark of the beast on him when he walks by him? He puts the mark of the beast.
Mm-hmm. You know, one thing I thought was cool about this too is a lot of movies like possession movies or even sci-fi, they give you too much background and you kind of get lost because it gets too nerdy. And it's like the one thing that the lady did at the end is she would explain shit while they're driving or doing action scenes or something, but she didn't ever go, so this is the cross of De La Monte, and if you hold it at the sunlight at this angle, you don't know how it works.
Yeah, she's like, you got to put it in the nape of its neck. We still don't know how that thing works. We still don't know how the thing works.
It is beautiful.
He gave up. Yeah, it's brilliant. But the other thing, and I mentioned this to Shah, was that if you read about this online, this is a foreign movie. Foreign movies don't spoon feed the audience plot like we're used to, right, Shah? Like when you even like Asian movies and French movies, they don't spoon feed things to you.
Especially Asian movies, yeah.
Especially Asian movies.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be involved. You're supposed to be engaged in the story. You're supposed to be paying attention. So the reward is figuring it out.
Yeah, right? They like leaving it open-ended for your own interpretation, you know? They don't want to just spoon feed you. But the thing that kind of worried me was the goat scene. Because I wasn't sure if they actually blew the head off the goat. Because it's Argentina.
No,
they're different.
I guarantee you
it's Argentina, though, dude. It's different. It's completely different rules.
I don't know that they'll allow. No, because it's distributed in the U.S. They're probably not even allowed to show that in the U.S. We have very strict animal.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was a real fucking goat getting killed.
I wouldn't want to do a deep dive because I'd be very crushed if it's real. Because it looked pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, was that real? I was like, oh, because. And it is a goat. Like they eat goats. Like it's
we should look into that. So Chris Matthews was saying this movie was I had to watch something funny to cleanse myself. Joe Punches, there's layers and layers of this shit. He also says it is like the Crazies, which I love the Crazies. Remake's not bad. And then Joe Punches said, wouldn't it have been nuts if they brought in Black Phillip for that cameo? Unfortunately, Black Phillip is so hard to work with, Joe Punches, in real life that they'll never be in a movie again. He's too difficult to work with.
He's blackballed.
He's been Black Phillip balled from the
He's very difficult to work with. That's why we can't get Black Phillip in his own movie. He's too Hollywood.
He's a
magnificent animal. But Joe Punch says they make you fill the gaps in. Yeah. I mean, look, honestly, we're going to do this in about a month and a half. I can't see any scenario where this isn't my favorite horror film of the year. I just can't. Most impactful, most original. incredible special practical effects were brilliant. The acting, absolutely brilliant. I don't know, Shah, right? I just don't see a scenario where there's something better than this.
See, I've actually changed my mind. This was my movie of the year, but now that I'm sitting on it, it's probably my number 2.
Ooh, okay, we'll see. Yeah. JB Bell said, I streamed Talk to Me and immediately purchased a 4K copy. That's my horror movie of the year. What's
man.
WEL? What does that mean?
Where in Evil Lurks?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Was cool, but a movie about two brothers constantly not following directions. That would be the American version. That would just be the American version.
But that's like, perfect. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, I just feel like that's the American version right there.
Yeah, but that's the humanity of it, because they shouldn't go where they're going. They know they should just get out of town, but the human part of it is, I got to go get my kids. He's fighting with the wife, not listening to the brother. The mom's half like singing a song, and like she kind of understands the Argentinian mysticism of it because she's older and knows that shit, but she don't fucking believe it until it's too late. It's like,
even his ex-wife doesn't really believe it.
Exactly. And it's that slow creeping inevitability of fate. And it just, you can't stop it. It's like a freight train, and it's coming no matter what you do. And everything you do makes it worse. Yes.
Yeah. Bisho, what did you think of the ending before we wrap up this piece?
Oh, God. Like you said, the mark of the beast, and then just walking out like
I'm talking about the ending with his son.
With his son?
Yeah,
wait.
Where he's choking on his grandmother.
Oh, and pulling the hair out. Oh my God.
Hey,
speechless, man.
What did you guys think when the autistic son was being totally normal around the grandmother there for that one scene?
Yeah,
I remember that where he's talking to his grandmother. It's like, hey, it's getting a little cold in here.
Yeah, I kind of wish the ending was a little bit more brutal though, because
I don't know. Shah. He's pulling
but dude, the movie
out of his son's autistic son's mouth.
Yeah, but dude, 5 minutes into the movie, we have access to the face, goats getting their heads blown off, car accident. Like, I mean,
eating children, mothers eating children.
Like, it was. I don't want to say it was anticlimactic, but it just wasn't as extreme as I thought it was going to be. The setup was way more extreme.
Pretty intense.
But that's kind of the idea, is they've done all this brutal shit to show you this universe of what happens when this evil is around, when it lurks, And then you leave the guy who is powerless to do anything. He lost his kids. He lost his family. And then the demon child just walks off. And this is what's going to happen throughout the whole world. Yeah.
Yeah. The demon was born. They failed. Not only did they fail, he failed his family. Like, you know what I mean? His wife is dead. His children is dead. His grandmother's getting coughed up into apple ice cream, with her necklace getting spit out because he's choking on it. It's just, I don't know, man. It's bleak as fuck. I obviously we're going to do a big show at the end of the year, for our 5 horror films. But please check it out if you haven't. And Bisho, you watched Talk to Me. What did you think of Talk to Me?
I thought it was pretty good.
Anecdote, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's all right. I thought it was pretty good.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah. There was some cool. Are we talking spoilers on this too, or no?
At this point, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I mean,
the one thing I really liked was toward the end, I could see where they were going. At the beginning, for the ritual, you sit down, they light a match, you do the thing, you touch the hand, and then they see someone who's dead. I thought that was done very well and not overdone. Like, thinking it was going to be Blumhouse style, where it's like a twitchy fucking zombie in their face. It wasn't. Like, some of the practical effects and the makeup was good. But then to tie it in with the end, after she dives into traffic and then she's in the dark and sees this light and then comes full circle. Like, there's so many little things in it like that, or like when it's always raining, or her issues with depression in the background and she doesn't know and she can't trust herself. It's almost like an unreliable narrator type of movie. Again, one of these movies that keeps you guessing, not as subtle, I guess, as When Evil Lurks.
Right.
But no, I thought it was cool.
So I got to just say this, Shah, because it's so funny. My brother Mike watched it this week, right? And he hadn't seen it before. He's texting me. Talk to me. So he's texting me. He goes, I don't have the text in front of me. I'm paraphrasing it. He goes, 45 minutes in, there are no attractive people in this movie. I just thought that was so funny.
That was his takeaway.
Like, that's your takeaway. There's nobody hot in the movie.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm actually more excited for the second one, where we get the backstory to where, I guess the gypsy or whoever there was that put the curse into the hand.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a fortune teller. Like
Yeah.
Joe Punches brings up an interesting. He says it's a layers of addiction, especially during the scene with them all taking turns on the hand. Yeah, it's a social media addiction movie. I will say this: I will put that scene up with the desk with the younger brother getting possessed. I'll put that up against any horror scene of the year, including Axe to the Face.
Yeah, I mean, the Axe to the Face and that one are probably my two. And Infinity Pool, where the little kid stabs him to death.
Oh, that's awful. That's
oh my god, dude, that shit is like 5 minutes long, and you're just like, stop,
Show,
please,
you gotta
stop,
see. It's an unbelievably tough scene.
That's next on my list. Half the time I sit down to watch it, it's super late, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to watch something.
You can't watch it. You got to get in.
You have to watch it, dude. Infinity Pool is fucking
amazing.
And
the chainsaw to the head in Evil Dead at the end's pretty good.
Oh yeah,
those
and the wood chipper,
the wood chip, Evil Dead Rise got a couple of good shit to do. People sleeping on that shit, but we're gonna be talking about it. Chris Matthews says the renaissance of horror that started the past year or so is continuing. Yeah, and in that vein, I want to bring this up. Officially, at this point in time, and it looks like this record will hold, the highest grossing horror film domestically of 2023 is not any of the movies that we're talking about. It's Five Nights at Freddy's. It dethrones Insidious, the most Insidious 4, and The Nun 2, and any of the competition. It is officially the highest grossing domestic horror film of 2023. Shah, what do you think about that?
My feelings are hurt, man. That legitimately bothers me. Like that, I can't say I'm surprised though, because again, that the target audience is the younger crowd that would go to the movie theater for Halloween weekend. It wasn't a movie for me. I still haven't seen it, but I know it's not made for me because I don't know anything about the game. You know what I mean? I don't have that backstory to it. I don't have that attachment. I don't know, man. Blumhouse always wins, and it just bothers me.
They're the Yankees. They're the New York Yankees.
Yeah, it just bothers me because they keep giving them more and more properties, and they knock it out the park when it comes to actual like sales.
Yeah,
but quality is down the fucking toilet, man.
Before I get to you, Bisha, I want to get your thoughts on it. It has broken a major box office record, cementing itself in horror movie history. That's how it has now made $113 million, making it the highest grossing horror film of 2023. The movie was able to rise to the top in only its first 2 weekends, which is meaning an even bigger box office is likely on the way. In addition, the movie has earned a collective $215 million worldwide in 2 fucking weeks, all while being available on a streaming service, Bisha.
That's the thing I can't wrap my head around is we were all thinking, oh shit, this is going right to streaming. This is going to be stinky shit. And it just keeps on going. And I got to say this. I'm not a huge fan of Blumhouse, but they know their audience and they know what they want. And they know what they're making, and they're just going to keep churning it out. I like the premise of Five Nights, but
yeah, me too.
My son's 6 and he saw it and doesn't know what it is. He just saw the animatronics. It looks scary. And he was like, I want to watch Five Nights. I'm like, no.
Yeah, my brother shut it off. I think he was like, it was just so boring. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like it is very boring, but Shah, that's kind of the Blumhouse way. I mean, I watched The Nun 2. I couldn't believe how distracted I was watching that fucking thing.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Black Phone, we forgot that was Blumhouse last week. And I mean, they can do certain stuff that's pretty decent.
Black Phone was very good.
But for the most part, they don't tailor their films towards, the audience like me. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I wish The Exorcist honestly made more money than Five Nights.
I wish Evil Dead Rise made more money. I wish
that makes me sad.
I wish Infinity Pool made more money than it.
Yeah.
But the reality of it has always been these ultra violent horror movies do not appeal to the largest crowd possible. Like horror gets popular, even when in the heyday back in the 80s, even when slasher movies were huge and making $30-40 million back in 1983, it was still a spectacle, but and everyone knew it was pop culture, but not everyone was going to the movies. It's a great example is Halloween 2018 had a huge box office run.
Yeah.
100 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Now that was considered huge for a horror movie. And then around the same time, you compare that to Star Wars, which is a different genre, much more universal appeal, family movie. it did $1 billion. So if you think about 100 million versus $1 billion, just to scale the biggest horror movie versus the biggest like fantasy, sci-fi, family movie around the same time, kind of gives you an idea of how many fewer people are watching those movies. So, I mean, I guess it serves them financially to go, PG-13 and not gore crazy, because I'm telling you, a lot of people who would watch Evil Dead Rise would probably be grossed out and turn it off.
Yeah, obviously we'll revisit a lot of this at the end of the year, but it's remarkable to me how if we go back to January and we know we're getting Evil Dead, we know we're getting that Infinity Pool with what's his face, Infinity Pool's weird crazy movie from seeing the trailer. We know we're getting an Exorcist movie. We know we're getting we're forgetting a Saw. We completely neglected Saw. We know these things are happening, and yet they're not unsuccessful. They're just not as dominant as the fucking Conjuring spinoff or the Nun sequel or a video game, PG-13 video game franchise that's not really popular anymore, Shah. So it's like, I mean, I just think it speaks to the unpredictability or the fickle nature, if I could be Daniel Bryan, of the audience, Shah. Or do you think that Blumhouse audience is just that basic bitch horror that doesn't give a shit about a fucking, French horror movie or an Argentinian horror movie?
Yeah, it's the casual audience. They're literally the WWE of horror films, No matter what WWE does, people just tune in. I think Blumhouse is the same way. They have a formula that works, and it is basic bitch horror, man. Like that, that term really makes sense when it comes to Blumhouse.
Yeah.
But Joe Punches has a good point, because films like The Ring did do really well with being PG-13, and I think Five Nights, the reason why it was PG-13, because they knew the younger crowd, the 12-year-olds and 10-year-olds, they want to go see
60% of the audience was under 25.
Right. So I mean, if they made it a rated R, they would miss out on a whole lot of revenue. So I mean,
well,
I get why they did it. And don't be surprised if there's a rated R cut of it coming out on Blu-ray or 4K, because that's what they did with Megan, right? Megan was PG-13. Then when it came out on
what's funny, Megan was another very successful fucking movie this year, Big Show.
But they got a rated R cut of that on physical. You can watch the rated R
only on physical. It's not bad. I mean, it's better than the Child's Play reboot. I'll say that, Big Show.
Oh, that was
that Child's Play reboot and the RoboCop reboot might be two of the fucking worst pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and I'm thankful that we. Which one, Megan?
Megan, yeah.
I did not see Megan. No, I just thought it looked. I had no interest in that. I probably should watch it, since we do a podcast to talk about horror movies.
Yeah.
But I'm just thankful we live in an era where, even though there's a lot of overcrowding from your Blumhouse and your PG and your basic bitch horror, I know Drew already hates that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Where you can still, for $5 a month, go to Shudder and see cutting edge shit like When Evil Lurks, or you can go to Hulu and you can see No One Will Save You. That was what was that PG-13?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, they exist in the same world.
Yeah. So like in the past, where most people's only avenue is you can go to the movies and watch a movie, and maybe the big box office horror movie from Blumhouse would normally squeeze everybody else out because they got all the theaters. You can still watch on opening day, when a movie comes out, from your couch, this kind of movie. Because like when I was growing up, you always talk about the theaters that you got to go see like John Waters movies and stuff in. We didn't have that around here. We don't have any little niche theaters.
I don't have that now. I don't have it in my life now.
Toledo and Albany aren't that different. So,
I just don't have it now. Just to stay with the topic, because I do want to talk about the Marvels. Can we pull up this red pill, blue pill? And I want to get people in the chat to give their opinion. Just
one last comment on just to add on to what Bisho was saying. The reason I think why we can have that nowadays is because, a tomato costs $5, but it's also a lot cheaper to make movies that look good, because now CGI is much cheaper. You can literally do it on Adobe Premiere if you're talented enough. You can do it yourself. You can figure that shit out.
Shoot a movie on an iPhone.
Yeah. So I think that's why we're getting better quality movies, because a lot of independent people can make films that are actually good looking. Because the independent movies from the 80s and 90s, I mean, it look like shit. It's like literally people in the backwoods. Like it's trash,
They don't look good at all.
It's got charm, but it's not a good movie. You can't.
They're long on charm and appeal, but very short on sustainability.
And acting, I think we
Yeah,
have
like we talked about
much better acting.
Yeah.
Much better acting.
Yeah.
You know, if When Evil Lurks
Like we
was
talked about
made in
Madman a couple
94,
weeks
it would
ago.
be a disaster.
Yeah.
You know, it would be
I'm
all
trying to find
porn
that
people.
Trying to find that thing you sent me
Argentinian
on
porn
the red
people.
pill.
So yeah, this thing came out. It was on Twitter. I sent it to these guys, and it was basically it grouped a bunch of horror movies together, like Red Pill, Blue Pill, I guess from The Matrix, right? And these things are very popular. So I wanted to get, and we definitely want to get everybody in the chat's opinion on this too. You having trouble finding it, B?
Nope, I got it.
Okay, so let's throw
There
this
we
up in the chat. Okay, all right. So we're gonna say Red Pill first, B Show. Okay, tell them the Red Pill first.
So the series of movies, if you take the red pill, Barbarian, Last Night in Soho, Terrifier, The Menu, The Witch, and Jason Goes to Hell.
Okay, and now give them the blue pill.
If you take the blue pill, you get to keep Orphan First Kill, Pearl, Evil Dead Rise, Renfield, Get Out, and Seed of Chucky.
Okay, I have my answer. I think, and unfortunately, I have my answer. Can I give my answer? I have to go Red Pill.
I'm gonna agree with you 100%.
I just can't. I love The Witch. I love Terrifier. I love Last Night in Soho, and I love Barbarian. And The Menu is great. Like it kills me with Pearl, like Pearl and Get Out and Evil Dead Rise, kills me. But I'm going Red Pill all the way. Shah, you're going Red Pill?
Yeah, I think so. I hate to say goodbye to Get Out and Pearl, but and Evil Dead Rise, I enjoyed that one too. But you know, Barbarian, Terrifier, Last Night in Soho was decent.
I like.
But The Menu, The Witch, I mean, I can't.
The Menu's a gem.
Yeah, dude, The Menu was like one of my that movie.
Unbelievable,
so
right? The Menu
good.
is understated.
So good.
So fucking good,
so
man.
Fucking good.
A very rewatchable movie, by the way.
Yes.
Very rewatchable.
So
B Show, I think I know your answer. Go ahead.
It's got to be Red Pill. I mean, I loved Pearl and I liked Evil Dead Rise.
I
thought
list Pearl was going to put you right in that blue pill, B Show.
Fuck that, dude. Any list with Seed of Chucky on it can get the fuck out of here.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't care if Halloween was on that list. I'd be taking that red pill.
All right, chat. What do we got? Joe Punches is going red pill. Yeah, Joe Punches got red pill. It's a weird, by the way, weird thing, right? Because they put a couple of dogs in here. Don't you think, Shah, just to get you on the defensive? Like Jason Goes to Hell and Seed of Chucky are kind of dogs.
Oh yeah. I like how they juxtaposed. I like how they juxtaposed those two together because they're both fucking basement of the franchise.
Yeah, Chris Matthews, he's got red pill. Anybody
a
fan of the
Orphan
series?
Red
I
Pill
saw
has to be
some of the first Orphan. Did you guys see any of the Orphan movies?
I haven't, no.
Okay.
I saw the first one, and then I was freaked out when that actually happened in real life. You guys know that, right?
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. Yeah, to me, the red. I mean, look, and you know what's funny, guys? Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but The Witch is a very on the internet. The Witch is a very polarizing horror film because there's just as many people that think The Witch is a piece of shit and that think it's a work of genius. You know, Slave Cheeks is like red pill by default. Shah, I know you like The Witch.
Yeah, I love The Witch, but I would say, yeah, I agree with you. That's very polarizing, but worse than that is Midsommar and Hereditary. Those two divide the crowd like no other, man.
Yeah.
People either fucking love it or hate it.
Yeah. It's very, very true. I think a lot of people weren't ready for both of those movies. That's honestly, I just think. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw, but what's her face, Florence Pugh, for Halloween dressed as the May Queen, Shah, for Halloween this year.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, nice. I didn't see that.
Yeah, she's a good-looking kid. My God, she is just not unattractive. Chris Matthews says, I love Pearl, Evil Dead Rise, and Get Out, but Renfield and Seed of Chucky kill the blue pill. I've heard Renfield is very fun. I heard it's got a lot of good humor in it because it's an R-rated comedy. Like, and Nicolas Cage is just so over the fucking top. But that's what I mean, I haven't seen it. I would watch it. I think it's on Peacock. Neither one of you have seen it, right?
No,
I haven't seen it yet, no.
Okay. One thing I want to get to before we wrap up here, because it is like one of the big weekends. Highly controversial film, polarizing. Maybe polarizing is a better word. we're getting our last Marvel film of the year. The very, very highly unanticipated in a lot of circles, The Marvels is opening tonight. It is speculated to not do well at the box office. There is a lot of articles saying this will be Marvel's first true bomb, and it might be the worst performing Marvel film of all time. It is supposed to track worse than The Flash. And a lot of reviews for it. Now, it did get bumped up to 66% in Rotten Tomatoes. That's at 59. Okay, audience score 83, 59 critics.
That's surprising.
Very surprising. So interesting thing here. So what you basically have is you have a circumstance where it's the Nia DaCosta, who we mentioned last week. She directed the Candyman reboot, which I liked very much. She gets this movie. It's a $225 million budget movie, and I believe the Candyman movie was about a $15 or an $18 million budget movie. Brie Larson always looks like she's smelling a fart nearby. Anchoring the cast with 3 different versions of the character. One of them spun out of sort of the newer version, the Kamala Khan. There was as Ms. Marvel, and of course the other character I think is spun out of the first Captain Marvel movie, but also from Scarlet Witch. I'm on the fence here. On the one hand, I don't think this movie is probably as bad as people are saying, but on the other hand, I think the things about it that are going to suck are going to be very obvious. Apparently, there's like a 10-minute dance number in there that might be one of the 10 worst people. Some people saying it's the 10 worst minutes in Marvel history. B-Show, you're way more familiar with this than Shah. What do you think? Do you think this is going to be the worst performing Marvel movie? I feel like we've heard this before, and it never really turns out to be the case.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. They said that this movie wasn't going to be successful when they did Captain Marvel, and it was actually really successful.
Almost $1 billion movie. Yeah.
What I thought was hilarious, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. When we went to go see Endgame in the theater, my brother and some friends and I, it was like a wrestling match where like Spider-Man comes on, crowd goes crazy.
Oh yeah.
Iron Man comes on, crowd goes crazy. Captain Marvel comes on, dead fucking silence in the theater. And it's like I tried to figure out, like, are the nerds right? Are they astroturfing this thing? And then I look at the audience scores, which were supposed to be great, and there's all these verified people, and you would think a verified critic on Rotten Tomatoes would have something profound to say, right? In reviewing a movie, something at least not alliterative, but something substantive. Great movie, must see, verified review. Loved it, great movie, verified review. This was a fun movie. Okay, minor issues. So mixed reviews leaning on good. I don't know if this is going to be the worst, or if by now you have your camps where people are going to say, oh, this is just pandering and it sucks. Don't see it. It's not the Marvel I grew up with. I just think there's a lot of people that are going to go see it and enjoy it just because of what it is. So I'd have to say, short story long, I think it's going to be successful, but how successful, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, it could track to be their first bomb. Shah, you've been waiting for Marvel to bomb. Are you anticipating this to be a huge failure finally for Marvel to have a movie not do well at the box office?
I mean, it's hard for me to comment on that since I don't really watch any of them. But yeah, I mean, I've been waiting for the downfall. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but for personal reasons, because I just want better quality films out there, just more theater space and more availability when it comes to actors. Like, I don't know, it would benefit me if they stop making as many films, but I know they have their cult audience and mostly people will enjoy it. But you know, I haven't seen more than 5 Marvel films in my life. So
oh wow, I can't believe you've seen that many.
I actually own like 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah,
I don't know why, because I don't ever watch them. But
yeah, well, look, I mean, so there's also sort of this built-in sort of defense mechanism that is people are already playing like defense, saying that most of the critics that don't like it are like white men, and they don't like the movie because it's a female empowerment movie and it's very diverse. I mean, that's a very sort of cheap. That's like the wrestling version of cheap heat. B-Show to me, it's like, you know, it's like you're almost saying that it can't be bad because of that reason. you're assuming if I don't like it, it's because of reasons that are completely so superficial that if that was the case, why would I go see the fucking movie in the first place if I really harbor those types of feelings? You know what I'm saying, Bisho? So to me, I just feel like that's a very sort of Tumblr argument.
Absolutely. And like when you factor in some of the most popular sci-fi movies of all time, like Alien, like that wasn't led by a strong badass lead.
Yeah.
It's been that way forever. And now you guys talked about it last week about how Shah was saying that, he said at first it was like, okay, guys, you're just being sensitive. And, it's not every movie. Things are force fed and platformed. And now it's getting to the point where it's too fucking obvious to deny it. This is an interesting time for a movie like this to come out because I'm hearing rumors from other channels that, Bob Iger is trying to squash this shit and they're trying to push Kathleen Kennedy out and they want to, and not just executives, but the money and the hedge funds that invest heavily in these movies where these budgets come from. They're saying, we want to make movies to make money. We need a return on our investment. That's great that you want to do these pieces that platform people of color and LGBTQ and represent and stuff like that. That's great. But we need to make money. So when I mentioned earlier, like the break in movie making because of the strike, it was at a really interesting time because at the same time, you're hearing all this stuff around like behind the scenes starting to change. So if it does good, if it's a good movie, I hope it does good. That's great because that's what we all want to see when we go to the movies. But I can definitely see people's issues with the blanket, like you're a racist, you're a bigot, because the genre is littered with great female characters or gay characters or characters of color, whatever you want to say, like throughout the entire lineage of these properties. So whoever says that can suck a dick because it's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to. Brian Harris brought up the Resident Evil franchise as a female empowerment movie. Absolutely, and Slave Cheek says this is being force fed. Joe Punches says Thor 4 made me angry because I'm a big fan of Gore and his backstory. I like the Thor 4. And JB Buff Bell brings up Marvel shouldn't be worse. Marvel shouldn't be worse than Love and Thunder or DC Shazam 2. I liked Love and Thunder. I liked it. I thought it was fine. I might go see the movie. I'm kind of on the fence. I like going to see these movies. I've seen every one of them in theaters. It would be weird to not see it in the theater. The only one I didn't see was the Captain America First Avenger. That's the only one I didn't see. And that's 2011 and it's almost 2024. If I do go see it, I will give it an honest to goodness review. I am very well versed in not only the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the comic book universe. And I know they changed the antagonist character to a woman again for no explained reason. I don't know. I don't really like this direction for Marvel. I just think it's not very good. I think Joe Punches might have brought up the Loki 2 season. I am not enjoying this. I feel the story is very overcomplicated in the Loki series. Very over, like it gives me a headache trying to keep up with it. And I don't think Owen Wilson is very good in that show. They turned Loki into like a weirdo. Loki was like a killer, like an ultra villain who was killing people left and right. And now he's like very sensitive. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to fix this going forward, but I'm going to be very curious, even if I don't see the film, to see how it performs. Because I want to just bring this up before we go to the Patreon, because we have a lot of stuff we want to get to. I had a friend. I'm not going to mention the person's name. I'm not going to call him a friend, but somebody I know and my brother knows is in public office, and they're very public in New York. They run public. They hold public office in New York, and they're from the hardcore scene. And this person was up for re-election. And if you went off of the internet, you would think this is one of the most hated politicians in New York. The base hates this person. The area they represent isn't going to vote for them. If you just go off of Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Well, they won re-election by about 20%. It was like not even close. It was like he killed his competition. And because the internet is not real life. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we always have to remember that in spite of what anyone else says or tells us, the internet is not the real world. So on the internet, and Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker and what's his face, the dude that does the Rippaverse, Eric July, and I don't have any issues with any of these people. I really don't. that might be very fun and very comical and get a lot of likes and get a lot of revenue to talk shit about the pandering and everything. But at the end of the day, I don't think that represents the buying public. Just like I don't think the pandering represents the buying public. Does that make sense, Bisho?
Yeah, because I was gonna say that's something I've been really getting sick of on YouTube and podcasts is the pandering either way. Like there's a channel called Star Wars Theory. And a couple years ago, this dude was crying on screen. And you could tell it was performative. Huge fan. These things mean a lot to people. I mean, go watch the Superfan doc on WWE Network about Vlad and how much.
Yeah, I need to watch this. I know who Vlad. I was at Madison Square Garden when Vlad was at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, nice. But like this shit means stuff to people's lives. So I understand that. We've all been in whatever situations. But like 2 years ago, this dude was crying when Star Wars movies were coming on and super shill. And now because it's popular to hate on it, like now he's hating on everything. Or even Nerdrotic. I love Nerdrotic. I think they're hilarious.
Yeah, they're funny.
But I do think they shit on everything because that's what the channel is about. And it's like I love doing this show because we can just talk about stuff we like or don't like. And just like when Evil Lurks, we all liked and didn't like or were uncomfortable by different stuff. We're not all going, all right, well, we have to shit on this week, so let's really go for it. Like, and subsequently, like these other channels that want to suck the dick and get press passes for Star Wars celebration. Everything is great. Everything is amazing and powerful. They're so brave. Anyone who says otherwise is a bigot and a homophobe. It's like, can we just cut the shit? Like we're talking about stuff we like to watch. This is not like geopolitics or supply side economics. It's entertainment. You know
Shah,
what I mean?
don't you think a lot of this? I'm sorry, Bisho. Shah, don't you think a lot of this is just like the wrestling, just like the gatekeeping in wrestling, whether it's like deathmatch people or AEW people or WWE people, like you can't use the internet as a guide at this point anymore because everybody is so wrapped up in their own shit and so wrapped up in this identity that they can't even be honest about it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be. I used to feel like it was genuine when some people did it. Now that every movie's doing it, every wrestling company is doing it, I almost see it as like you're just going with the flow. Like you don't actually mean this. And like I don't know, man. How long do you think it's gonna be before like they remake Star Wars and Darth Vader identifies as like a woman, and it's like I'm your mother,
I am your mother and your father.
Yeah.
His noise, it's not his chest plate breathing. It's just the sound of a vacuum because he's like cleaning up the Death Star.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, look, the way the world is going right now, we might not be around for a Star Wars reboot. We might all be gone. But if I see it, I honestly I don't have a bug up my ass about it. I'll see it. I'll give it. First of all, Brie Larson is fucking attractive as fuck. Fuck, she's good looking. Even though she literally, I always feel like she's somebody who's smelling someone else's farts and getting annoyed every time I see her face. I like I like the character in the comics. Fine. I always liked the character in the comics when they were binary or Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. She's always been a pretty good character. Let's see how it goes. I heard the movie's not woked out of its mind, but there's like no dudes in it. Like, I don't know. Like, I think even the cat isn't a dude. That doesn't really bother. If it's good, it's good. Unfortunately, I already know about the extra credit scene, and I'm a little upset that I allowed myself to fall in that trap. So, but let's just say I think it's a big deal, the extra credit scene.
I know we're about to wrap it up, but just like another example of this, Barbie shitting on men throughout the whole movie. Like, I don't find that necessary in a Barbie movie. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, the whole idea was like Ken is a fucking idiot and doesn't know anything. He's just
they had to make Ken stupid. Yeah, they had to make him like a bag of rocks. Yeah. $1 billion movie.
I don't know, man. That type of stuff, it kind of bothers me a little bit.
Well, that's why I didn't see the movie. And, like even like someone like my wife who granted, she's a little too old to be a fifth wave feminist. We're just older people. But like, she had no interest in it. And then when her youngest sister saw it, she went and saw it with their mother, and they were both like, eh. Like that, like her sister's 40, and she's like, doesn't like, it was okay. It's not really for me. And I'm like, wow, like I'm actually relieved to hear that now people like 40 something people are going, I don't really need to see a man hating movie. I just don't need to see that in my life. I think this is programmed for maybe much younger people because this is all they know because the internet is telling them that this is the way the world is. Just like me and my brother and my other friend were like, this person we know is going to lose office big time. No, because the internet is not real life. But listen, we have a bunch of stuff we're going to get to in Patreon. That's where we play our trailers and talk about some extra fun stuff. So consider going to patreon.com/break the app. And of course, $5, just $5 fucking bucks. And that'll get you there. But right now we want to plug all of our pals. And give me 1 second here. I'm so sorry. I had the plugs and I lost the plugs. Let's plug Deathmatch Outlaws. Let's plug the Drew Yari Show. I think it's called the Drew Yari Experience. Cassette Classics 86 on YouTube and, of course, the Down on the Thundercast. Don Tony, he's doing shows with Kevin Castle these days. Necromaniacs Podcast. I don't know what they have coming out this week, but listen to their When Evil Lurks. They do a very deep dive, like a full-on episode. The Inhuman Experience Podcast and, of course, the return of Ringsiders Wrestling. They're going to be coming back for Survivor Series. I'll be joining them for Survivor Series. Mojo and Dirk's Most Dastardly Show. The Garden of Doom. And congratulations to our good friend Jeff Littman on his recent nuptials. Congratulations, Jeff. And, of course, the Old Guy Metalcast and FunkBetty.com. Our good friend Ronald Anderson's putting out the wonderful, wonderful clothing line that you should be supporting and checking out. Please go to funkbetty.com. MJW Games and, of course, Cherry Jesus on YouTube and his band Kaiser. His album is available for download. We got a good buddy Sam at the Red River Podcast and his band Playing Dead. I think they just put out another video, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, the Bayou Geeks, the one and only Fate 316, the High Mox Podcast, the Midnight Mass Creature Cast, the Weekly Detour. That's our good friend Anthony Alston and his good pal Teddy. And we got Guns and Geeks Podcast. Shot anything happening on the old planet Mondo?
No, not really, man. I gotta start making content. But there's a back catalog. Go back and watch some of that stuff. Since you're on YouTube already, visit me and B Show. We're both on YouTube. B Show Brian, Planet Mondo. Subscribe to both.
Yeah, subscribe to both. Hit that subscribe button. B Show, anything for the channel? I know you might be doing a solo show next week. So
yeah, I'm gonna be doing a solo show for this channel. Mine, I probably won't get to anything till after the first of the year. I'm working through a bunch of stuff. But B Show Brian on YouTube. I might repost. I did a video on planes, trains, and automobiles and what's really in Dell's trunk. So if you want a weird movie theory that's been bandied around, yeah, it's a theory that's been bandied around a little bit, and I just had some fun with it. So go check it out.
B-Show, did you see Emma Stone reenact the Steve Martin monologue at the counter for the car rental?
No, but knowing her, it was probably really good.
Yeah, it's amazing. If I find it, I'll send it to you. Emma Stone does the monologue like word for word. She does the full monologue, and she's great. Oh, she's such a cute kid. Love her. And by the way, Shah, her movie Poor Things is opening up soon. She might be in Academy Award territory again.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that, man. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be doing a deep dive on that. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for checking out this week, and we'll see you next week in Spitball Media.
Peace.